We will move on to another stream that happened on Saturday. I gotta say, having a stream on Saturday is probably the worst thing you can do for a company, because I completely forgot about this until it showed up on my YouTube recommended. Like, I was watching something on YouTube, then I go to the main part, and I'm like, oh wait, what? That's today? I was like, oh wow, okay, well, I guess I better watch this. That's what happened with me. I don't know about you. Was it the reminder I put on the hype stage that made you realize this was going on, or did you know about this beforehand?
No, completely had no knowledge of this, and I was out shopping at the time when this happened. I was just like, "Oh, really?
Yeah,
Ubisoft is doing a presentation now on a Saturday?
I know. It was so weird.
Okay."
It was so, and honestly, it was a bad idea. It really was. Like, Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft have it right. When you do it in the middle of the week, and it's after most people get out of work, and then they get home and they sit down and watch the presentation, that's perfect. That's how you want to do it. But to do it on a Saturday when people have better things to do, I mean, I don't see a lot of people who are going to want to sit down on their day off to watch this if they have limited time to relax. So I think this was a bad move. But anyway, let's get to the announcements that happened. Let's go through updates before we get into new games. And these will go over quick. Brawlhalla is crossing over with Castlevania. Alucard is going to be a new character coming into that game. I know, who cares? It's Brawlhalla. The Crew 2 is getting ice tracks for the first time in a new season. The theme that you're going to see here is that a lot of games that I think a lot of people would have thought that shouldn't be getting updates because no one's playing them are still getting constant updates, which actually is a good thing, I think. Riders Republic is getting updates. They're going to have BMX bikes in there. The Division 2 is getting a 10th season called Price of Power. You can stop me whenever you want. What else?
Honor is apparently getting another season, which I'm surprised with, considering that just the game kind of ended up just getting a cult following with the fighting game community, and that's really about it.
Ubisoft Plus is celebrating its third anniversary, and it's essentially making this month free. So if you have Ubisoft Connect and you sign in, you're going to get it free for this month. So that's their Game Pass style thing where you can play all the Ubisoft games on PC for a fee. They're giving that away for a month for free, so that's interesting. Netflix and Ubisoft are partnering on a live-action Assassin's Creed adaptation alongside 3 mobile games based on Assassin's Creed, Valiant Hearts, and Mighty Quest. I think people are pretty disappointed about the Valiant Hearts announcement because I think people really liked that game, but they want it on a console, and when they announce, it's coming to phones, that kind of sucks. Mythic Quest is getting a new season. Who cares? Let's get into mobile announcements. The Division Resurgence and Rainbow Six Mobile were both shown off. They look good for mobile games, but they're mobile games, so yeah, I'm not particularly interested. The Division Heartland is in its testing phase right now. It's a free-to-play game set in that universe that's in the Midwest, so that's cool, I guess. Just Dance 2023 was announced. This is where I was saying about the Justin Timberlake thing, so there we go. Trackmania is coming to consoles with cross-platform play and cross-progression. That apparently will be free-to-play. So that's cool. Have you ever played Trackmania?
No, but I've seen some of the crazy like infinite loop tracks and stuff like that where all you have to do is just literally just slam on the throttle and then you'll just go through some really crazy loops and slides and stuff like that and then just the track repeats, and that sort of madness is just kind of a sight to behold because it's just amazing how some of the map designers sort of figure everything out on the physics end, and then just all you got to do is just load this map, hit the throttle, and just go.
I really think you should try these games out. You're into sort of difficult games and you're into racing games, I know it's very arcadey, but the time trial part of these games are a lot of fun. So I really think if you get a chance, you should try Trackmania when it comes out. Skull of Bones had a trailer showing off ship customization, and then it was announced that this is going to be a $70 game coming in November 8th. We've talked about this before. This game's going to tank, I think. I think this is not going to do very well.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, if it reviews well, maybe not. But I don't think it's going to review well. Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope was shown off. They showed more gameplay. And they announced the first DLC that they're going to have is going to be content with Rayman. Okay. I mean, I can't get too bent out of shape about it because it's Mario with Rabbids. So I guess it kind of makes sense that Rayman will end up in it. Sure. Okay. That's fine with me. And then after all that, we have the Assassin's Creed presentation. And they spent 30 minutes talking about all the stuff that's coming out on Assassin's Creed. Let's get to... I want to start off first with the Assassin's Creed Infinite thing. The Infinity, or is it Infinite?
Infinite.
Infinite, okay. They didn't really get into detail, but it sounds like it's a hub of sorts that you can play on that connects itself to all the Assassin's Creed games. And apparently this hub, maybe I read this wrong, but this hub is going to have multiplayer in this. So I guess those who were missing the Assassin's Creed multiplayer, that apparently is going to be in this hub. So that will be interesting, I guess. So that is coming in 2023, and it's attaching itself to a couple of the games that are coming out, which we'll get to. But first, they announced the final DLC for Assassin's Creed Valhalla called The Last Chapter. Look, if you are really into this game, you must be eating well, because they gave so much content in this game that most people were just like, this is too much, I'm done. But if you really like this, you're getting more. So on the one hand, like, I don't want to start the game because of how long it is. But on the other hand, if you're into it and you like the game, man, you are doing very well, because they give you a lot of crap to do in this.
Overall, just I'm kind of the same way with you on the thought of the Infinite announcement being just some sort of hub. I'm just like okay, one, is this going to be like a hub sort of game where you sort of kind of interact with some of the events of the past Assassin's Creed games, or is this going to be like a major time sink sort of thing in the future that they're going to really build the hell out of it, and you're just kind of going to be playing for hundreds and hundreds of hours on this? I've got a lot of questions, and unfortunately, just their little overview on Infinite is just way too broad.
Yeah. I'm betting when the new game they announced comes out, we'll learn more about it. But we'll move on to... Let's talk about that game that they announced. Assassin's Creed Mirage. This was actually... this was leaked about a week previous. But this game is set in Baghdad. It's 20 years before the events of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and stars a character that is in Valhalla called Basim. I think it's his name. Yeah, Basim. Yeah, it's Basim. I'm sorry. The whole name's there, but I'm going to mess it up big time, so I'm just not going to try. Coming next year, I believe in March, they made a point to talk about a Hollywood actress that's in the game, and that's Shohreh Aghdashloo. I like her as an actress. If you've seen House of Sand and Fog, she's great in it, and I've heard that in other TV shows she's actually very good too. I think they kind of went overboard making a big deal about this, but hey, you know what? She deserves some love, so okay, fine. But I just see a lot of people watching that going, who? And just
Yeah,
being confused. But okay, coming
yeah.
2023. Go ahead.
And to clarify, Mirage is going to be a tribute to the early Assassin's Creed games. So no RPG mechanics. Just if you get the stealth kill and you catch the enemy by surprise and jab them straight in the throat, then yeah, they're gonna die. You don't have to worry about the whole. Oh well, shit! I'm 10 levels underneath this target I'm supposed to assassinate. Well, crap! I'm gonna have to go grind.
Yeah.
So if you enjoyed a vintage Assassin's Creed, then you're probably gonna like Mirage um, and all, mostly because it does kind of go back to just traditional Assassin's Creed, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Mirage did have a little bit of controversy because during the Ubisoft Assassin's Creed event, the trailer for Mirage was preluded by an adult-only ratings icon.
I know.
Which adult only for the ESRB ratings does also cover gambling and microtransactions now. So it got a lot of people thinking, "Oh my god, just Mirage is going to have some sort of loot box bull crap." Okay, this is fucking terrible. So on Monday, Ubisoft had to put out a PR blast and say, "No, no, 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 no. Assassin's Creed Mirage is not rated at AO. That was an error on our part. We are sorry for the confusion, but we assure you there will not be any sort of microtransactions in Assassin's Creed Mirage."
That was interesting, to say the least. I thought it was going to be because they were having some kind of like they. When they also did the rating, they said it had extreme violence or strong violence, which
Yeah.
is not really something that Assassin's Creed really had. So I was like, wow, they're going to go that route? Okay, interesting. But they kind of toned that back too. It's going to be a $50 game. It's going to be 20 hours long. So even though it's harkening back to like Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 and the whole Ezio trilogy, it's going to be shorter than those. So it seems like it's more of a liberation type of game, I'm guessing, because it's only set in one city. It's great that it's going to be less money, but I don't think this is going to be the media experience that people are thinking it's going to be. Because even when it was classic Assassin's Creed, those were 30, 40 hour long games. But,
Oh yeah.
but this is being half that. So I hope they gauge expectations better on this one, because I think a lot of people are not aware that this is going to probably be a shorter game than you're probably thinking it's going to be. But yeah, it looks interesting, and I might actually give it a shot when it comes out. They then talked about a bunch of games in development. Codename Jade was the first one. It's an open world Assassin's Creed that is for mobile devices. That's unfortunate, but the thing that's really unfortunate about this is that this is set in a time period that people were really asking for, and that's ancient China. And specifically, there's 213 BC in ancient China, so a lot of people were disappointed by that. Or 215 BC. Yeah, a lot of people were disappointed. That's coming to mobile games at some point. I'm gonna venture to say if people complain enough, they'll put a PC client of this out, like what do you call it? Like Diablo like what Diablo Immortal did. So maybe make your voices heard that you want to play it, and you might get it on PC. I don't know. That's worth a shot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really sad too because, of course, on top of Codename Jade being set in ancient China, it also has you creating your own assassin to make your own legacy, and just I can see that easily being exploited with like just really predatory marketing on cosmetic stuff. Just oh, do you want this sweet assassin's armor? Well, you're gonna need 4,000 Helix tokens from the Android App Store or the at the Apple iOS App Store in order to get this costume or whatever, and it. I just see this just being a giant mobile game clusterfuck. So
Yeah.
hate that it's a mobile game, but it is what it is. In the nature of the modern day video game business.
Yeah. I find it funny that the guy that they showed in the Assassin's Creed hood was a white guy in English. I thought that was kind of funny. I was like, really? You couldn't even try a little bit? Okay. The next one that they showed off was, I think the next one they showed off was one called Assassin's Creed Codename Hexe, and people are thinking this is one set in the witch trials, which makes this a very different game if that's the case.
Yeah,
So,
in particularly, the setting people are speculating is it may be taking place during the German Wurzburg witch trials, which happened during 1625 to 1631, and that particular era was a very bloody and brutal one because eventually a bunch of priests ended up just exercising corrupt amounts of power, and pretty much if they didn't like you, you were accused of being a witch and you were just killed and slaughtered, and whoever killed and slaughtered you just took all of your material possessions and everything. So it'll be interesting to see if they're going to consider the hidden ones as either witches or allies of witches, and then that the Templars will be the literal priest working under the orders of the Pope to execute witches and stuff like that. So definitely a potentially interesting setting.
and this might also hint towards what Assassin's Creed will be in later things. They're not looking at it as a stealth game or an open RPG anymore. They're looking at it as a suite of games that have a through line through history, and they're making different types of games apparently. Because I don't see this being like the way I look at it. I don't see this being like any of the other Assassin's Creed. I don't see this being an open world RPG, but I don't see this being a stealth assassin game either. I think this is going to be something very different. So I'm very curious as to what this turns into. If it turns out to be one of the other two, I think I will be very disappointed. But something tells me this is going to be different than the others in a key way. So I'm looking forward to what they announce on that one. The big announcement, I think, that was announced is that the new game that they're setting up now is called Assassin's Creed Codename Red. And this one has you playing as the life of a shinobi in feudal Japan. This is the one that everyone's been asking for. So, where the China one was the second most requested. This is the first. So they're finally doing that one, and people are excited about this. What were your thoughts on the teaser trailer was like 10 seconds long, but
yeah,
what do you think of the announcement?
It's kind of one of those. It's just like, wow, it took you long enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, just it seems like it'll be a next gen only sort of thing, or rather, I mean, 9th gen. So PS5, Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X, and PC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just it'll be really interesting to see where they go with this because there have been plenty of ninja games in the past. Some of them kind of go sort of on the fun route with like interesting James Bond like goofy gadgets and stuff. Particularly the Tenchu games were pretty wild with just some of the gadgets you could mess around with. But in addition to that, you also have games that are extremely respectful to Japanese culture. In particularly, you've got Ghost of Tsushima, which has been just excellent in some ways, but also a little bit lacking on some of the aspects of Japanese culture. And then on the contemporary end, you have games like Ghostwire Tokyo, which are pretty much just chock full of just virtual tourism in Japan within a video game and everything. So it'll be really interesting to see how much they respect the source material that they're going with for Codename Red, but we'll see how that all pans out.
Yeah. So overall, this is pretty much everything that was announced during the Ubisoft Forward. This was an hour and 30-minute presentation, and 30 minutes went specifically to a special presentation for Assassin's Creed. This is way too damn long. When I watched this, like when it got to all the updates for the old games and Just Dance and everything, I was like, good lord, what else are you announcing here? There was a lot of filler to this. So a lot of this could have just been a press release, essentially, and just as many people would have cared. I thought the Assassin's Creed presentation was actually very good, but the updates, fine. I mean, you could have had live streams for those specific updates for those specific fans, and they would have covered that just fine. So those who were playing it didn't need that. They can get those updates there, and you would have been just fine. There was no reason to have the updates there, unless you just wanted to get people to realize, oh wow, people are still playing these games. So I guess that's fine. But overall, it was a good stream, but way too damn long. Way too damn long. There were some decent announcements, but they were all sandwiched in between mobile games, like TV shows, Netflix. Like, a lot of this stuff could have been taken right out, or you could have just done a tweet or something, and it would have covered it in the news. And again, just as many people would have cared. But overall, it's fine, but way too damn long.
I didn't catch it live, but yeah, just having to wade through the VODs and everything.
Oh, you lucky bastard.
It was just a pain in the ass to wade through all the VODs. It was just like, Jesus, you've got just a bunch of these updates that are anywhere from like 2 to 5 minutes long a piece, and you've just got a ton. All this could have been condensed into like just a giant like PR blast. This was almost excessive. Granted, the Assassin's Creed one was a little better for me, but yeah, it was one of those things that I kind of had the same opinion as you. It was just like, wow, a lot of these could have just been a simple press release to say, hey, this game's getting a new update, so here you go. This game's getting this update, this game's getting that update. Cool, there you go. But Assassin's Creed part was neat, but yeah, just the other part of the Ubisoft Forward event, yeah, you could have just condensed that into some PR releases.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for listening and watching this podcast segment of the Capital Games Podcast. Me and Zero thank you for clicking on the video and watching. If you want, we have another video on the screen right now where you can listen to if you are interested. We also want to let you know that we do a movie podcast called the Capital Games Movie Club. This week, we are reviewing A Beautiful Mind. Last week, we did V for Vendetta. So if you're interested in either of those, or any of our opinions on the movies that we have reviewed, go ahead and click on it on the screen right there. Thank you again for listening and watching. I hope to hear from you next time. Bye now.